This is a Fox News alert. Fox News has obtained a series of memos that former FBI Director James Comey drafted about his interactions with President Trump before and after the inauguration. Fox Business Network's Ed Lawrence has read the memos, and he joins us tonight. Ed.
Exactly, Mark. Yeah, here they are. This is the redacted version of these memos. The unredacted version we're hearing we may get possibly tomorrow. But in these redacted versions, a couple of things jump out at the moment. You see that this outlines 6 conversations that James Comey had with President Donald Trump, some on the phone, some in person. Now, a couple things jump out. Everybody talks about the pledge that the president had asked Comey to follow. Does he pledge a loyalty to him? Well, in the memo, 2 times the president has been outlined as saying that he would like a pledge of loyalty from Comey. But one of those times, Comey actually responded saying, "You will get that." So Comey in one of those. Now, another thing that jumps out here is we're talking about the Russian investigation and the FBI investigation with the Russian meddling there. On several occasions, at least 2 we can find, that James Comey documented that President Donald Trump asked him not to, or asked him to get out the information that the president was not a target of that investigation. So as we go through here, very sensitive conversations between the 2. I can tell you that in February of this year, a judge ordered that these memos not be released. They were sent to several committee members today. They had been requested. Both the House and Senate Judiciary, Oversight, and Intelligence Committee got these, along with House Speaker Paul Ryan and Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. So again, in these, a few things jumping out. One, that there was that pledge of loyalty according to Comey, but in one of those instances, Comey says, "You will get that back to the president." The other thing that's in here, I should say, that James Comey sort of tells the president a number of times that Andrew McCabe is an honorable man. The president questioning McCabe's motives on several occasions in meetings, phone calls, and meetings with Comey. But again, Comey reiterating each time that was brought up that McCabe is an honorable man. Also telling the president that the FBI is impartial and doesn't let their feelings get involved in their investigation.
So that's directly related to not just the McCabe referral, but also seems to be at odds with what Comey told George Stephanopoulos on the big ABC interview, Ed, where he said that he didn't give loyalty. He talked about honesty instead. In this version, he pledged his loyalty.
Yeah, maybe it's an oversight, but written in these documents here, it does say, in James Comey's own words there, that he did say, "You will get that," on at least one occasion when he talked to the president.
Now, Fox News producer Chad Pergram is joining us. He's on the phone. Chad, the lurid bit, the lurid meeting was the one where Comey met with Trump to reveal the existence of this dossier and the more salacious elements of it. Do we learn anything more about that in these memos?
Well, what we have here is there was a part of this memo that was sent to Capitol Hill where Comey says he told the president that the Russians, quote, allegedly had tapes involving him and prostitutes in Moscow around 2013. Now, Comey says that Trump replied, quote, there were no prostitutes, there were never any prostitutes. He said that Trump presumed that the hotels he stayed in were wired. Comey also says that Trump kind of discussed how there were women, quote, who falsely accused him of grabbing them or touching them. He says that there was a stripper, doesn't say anything who this stripper might be, I'll just leave it at that, stripper, and that the president, quote, gave me the sense he was defending himself to me. Now, we're still kind of going through this. I have to say that we heard about elements regarding that from sources on Capitol Hill probably in the spring of last year. Again, the veracity of that is unclear, but that's something that has been rattling around in intelligence circles for quite some time.
But let me just ask you this, Chad, because the whole issue is that there is no evidence of this. It's a story that comes from this dossier. The dossier comes from a foreign national, a British subject, who got it from supposed Russian sources. Does anything Comey says add any credibility to this allegation?
Well, there's one thing here that Comey says in the memo. He indicates that to the president that he was not saying that this was true. That's the exact verbiage here. Only that I wanted him to know that it had been reported and that the reports were in my hands. He said it was important that we not give them the excuse and write that the FBI has the material and that they were keeping it close hold. So this is something where, at least if you read between the lines of what Comey is saying here, he says this is, quote, inflammatory stuff, close quote. Right. And it was something that, someone in Comey's position, then the FBI director, thought it was appropriate to check out, just that this was floating out there. But again, we don't have any direct evidence that any of it was true. And as you say, it's in this dossier,
there's still nothing more anchored on this. Thanks for that, Chad. We'll be right back with more on this breaking news about the Comey memos. That's next on...